in different cities. A massive Rail Roko that took place in Punjab, and that has been going on for 2 days now. The farmers' protest is simply picking up pace. A lot of it, of course, does have to do with the fact that some political parties have decided to extend their support, are also coming out on the streets, whether it's the left or it's the Congress. But a large number of farmers are out there on the streets. And they are also a very integral part of this protest. Now, have they been briefed wrong, or is there genuinely a concern that they have? And if they do, then what's the way forward? Can we simply dismiss this as politics and nothing else? Or is there a genuine concern for the farmer? We are going to revisit this. I have in the past repeatedly broken down the 3 bills for you, the pros and the cons and the concerns. We've had experts. We've had various political parties also explaining what the concerns are. Tonight, one more time, we pick up this topic. The Annadata, the farmer, the farming community, which is over 50% of our population, cannot be ignored if they have genuine concerns. Today, we had protests in Chandigarh, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Amritsar, Mohali, Chennai, Delhi, Noida, Sholapur and Patna, some of the big places where we got visuals from. Prime Minister again attempted to allay the fears. He himself today tweeted 5 separate issues, trying to assure the farmers that this bill is in your benefit, in your favor. In the last 5 times the Prime Minister has spoken, he has accused the opposition and others of misleading the farmers. Are they being misled, or is there a genuine concern that we are not listening to? That's the big question. Let me actually go across to our panelists who are joining us right now. Shama Mohamed, spokesperson for the BJP. Dr. Shama Mohamed, national spokesperson for the Congress Party. Avik Saha, convener of Kisan Andolan, the farmers' wing of Swaraj Abhiyan. Rajiv Ranjan, spokesperson for the Janata Dal United. Thank you for speaking with us. I want to go across to Mr. Avik Saha. Mr. Saha, I remember on the day and subsequently when the ordinances were passed and we got the finer details, you were on my debate and you were, very clearly listing out clauses that you thought will become problematic. Months down the line, we are seeing a massive protest today. Is it because there are problems in this bill, or is it also largely triggered because of political parties and opposition parties?
The large protests you saw today were from farmers' organizations. Political parties and opposition parties may have protested. I have no information or connection with that at all. So far as AIKCC, the organization I represent, is concerned, we are still counting, but it looks like there were protests at 20,000 sites today, and about 20 lakh farmers were out in the street today. Farmers, farm workers, ordinary people, village people. So this was a very, very large farmers' protest. In fact, the largest I have seen in the past couple of years. And this is primarily because the government refuses to even understand what the requirement of the farmers are, and is going on legislating at breakneck speed for what interest and whose interest we are not clear and we don't understand.
Okay, so let me just bring in the other sides and I will come back to you for some of those specific issues, that we have also discussed in the past. Mr. Shivam Chabra, why does your party so vehemently believe that this is just politics? How do you explain the thousands of farmers who did come out on the streets today?
Yeah, I think it is the poor propaganda being run by the opposition party and opposition people who are trying to oppose a bill which is actually progressive and is in the interest of the farming community of this country. unfortunately, they have been trying to persuade the farmers and say that there's something. So there's some serious issue happening regarding the MSP of the crops, and there's going to be a lot of problems. The foreign nationals going to come in. Due to this contract farming, the multinationals going to have a lot of problems. But unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, the all the three bills passed by the parliament has got nothing to do with it. The MSP is absolutely an administrative affair of the government of India, and I think there has been a 1.5 times increment in the MSP, and which was recommended by the MS Swaminathan committee, formed during the UPA regime. Not the recommendations was not laid down and probably followed. It is the NDA which is following the same. So I don't think there should be any hue and cry about that. And as far as the opening up of, as the mandis, the concern regarding the mandis and the APMCs, the Agriculture Produce Market Committees is concerned. It is absolutely absurd to say that the role of the APMC is going to come down. It is just an effort. It's just an initiative to open a new market for the farmers so that they can probably sell out of the APMC. I don't understand if like opening a new avenue and probably a new opening to the farmer to sell their produce is a problem to the opposition leaders. That is that is again a mockable situation. So I don't think that the arguments being laid down by the opposition party stand at all. And I think it is unfortunate that they've been politicizing the entire issue, and which is not in the interest of the farming community as well as the country.
No, but it's not about the arguments from the opposition parties, right? The argument also is what is the farmer saying, those who are out there. And to a certain extent, if the BJP says that the opposition is misleading them, I would agree. But to this extent, I find it hard to believe. For issue after issue, from CAA to NRC, farmers issue, BJP is supposed to be the king of communication and the communication strategy. How is it that the opposition seems to be beating you at your game repeatedly? That I don't understand. Shama Mohamed, how has the opposition cracked the code at better communication than the ruling party?
First and foremost, the Tanvi, it is the farmers. It is not about the opposition. There are farmers out there. That's the problem with the Bharatiya Janata Party and the ruling dispensation. They don't see farmers as humans, or they don't see them the ones who give us our food, when even during COVID times, nothing has gone wrong with that. And those are our Annadatas. So let's not forget about them. It is their protest. They are out there. Of course, we are supporting them, because what we see with this bill is completely wrong. And what is wrong is that my question to this government, as well as the spokesperson here, why not put MSP in that bill and say that whoever is the private buyer will not buy less than the MSP? Now, we know what happened in 2006 in Bihar. They removed the APMC from there. And what has happened? They expected a lot of private investment, which did not come. The public infrastructure as such is completely gone. The public procurement, the government procurement is come down. There were 9,000 centers of government procurement centers. Now it's 1,900. And there are unscrupulous traders over there who arm twist the farmers and sell at a lower price. Now what's happening is they're taking their produce from there through these traders, and they sell it in Haryana, Punjab, in those mandis. That is what is happening with Bihar. So one doesn't want that to happen. When you have this APMC, there is a minimum support price. Now, what will happen? The person before me spoke and said, there's nothing wrong. Of course, there will be this private player, which comes to the farmer initially and will give a good price. And once in 2 years' time, when he sees the APMC, the private farmer, private player is paying much more, then, the APMC starts disappearing all of a sudden. And then what happens is the private player will start reducing his prices. He will say, no, I'm not going to buy in this price. I will reduce it. Because see, the APMC is a lot of farmers together. It's a union sort of thing. And they support each other. Now here, the giant of private trader or the private player will just eat up if there is an issue. He will take over. He will arm twist the poor farmer who's got less than 2 acres. Most of around 80% have less than 2 acres of land. So that is the issue. And the issue is that why not get consensus. Even their own ally has gone out of it, the Shiromani Akali Dal. What we are asking is get consensus and then do something. Then pass. Then get it. Why don't, when the farmers are protesting out there, before the bill was passed, why not ask them, what are your issues? Let's sit and talk about it. No, it's a dictatorship. And only after passing the bill, the dictator comes on television and talks about it, not in parliament. That is the issue here. Why don't he come and tell, this is what I want, this is the thing. But it's always done after passing the bill because he doesn't care about a parliament.
I agree with you. I believe there should have been a lot more exhaustive conversation on this, Shama Mohamed. I agree with you that there should have been a lot more in-depth, exhaustive conversation on this, at least in the parliament. These are, very crucial legislations, very crucial bills impacting over 50% of our population. It deserves a lot more than a few hours that it actually got in the parliament. And there I will agree with you. Let me actually just bring in Mr. Rajiv Ranjan. Mr. Rajiv Ranjan, इतनी जल्दी हमने बिल पास कर दिया, डिस्कशन भी नहीं किया, और अब हम कह रहे हैं कि ये सब जितना प्रोटेस्ट हो रहा है देश भर में, ये सिर्फ ऑपोजिशन की वजह से है. मतलब आप ज्यादा क्रेडिट नहीं दे रहे हैं ऑपोजिशन को?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो मैं कांग्रेस के स्पोक्स पर्सन ने बिहार में एपीएमसी को खत्म किए जाने के बाद किसानों की बदहाली के बारे में कहा. उनको उनके उत्पाद की लागत नहीं मिल रही है. उन्होंने कई तरह के सवाल खड़े किए. देखिए, अगर देश में किसानों की आत्महत्याओं के मामलों को अगर आप देखेंगी तो बिहार में किसान आत्महत्याएं नहीं करते हैं. बिहार में बैंकों के ऊपर उनकी निर्भरता नहीं है. बिहार में 3 एग्रीकल्चर रोड मैप्स आए, तीसरा एग्रीकल्चर रोड मैप अभी चल रहा है. बिहार ने पहली बार किसान कैबिनेट बनाया. 2006 में एपीएमसी को खत्म करने के बाद कई ऐसे फैसले लिए गए जिससे मंडी के बगैर किसानों को उनके उत्पाद की लागत मिल सके. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगर परंपरागत रास्ते से, जो कन्वेंशनल तरीके से हिंदुस्तान में किसानों के लिए बातें हम करते रहे हैं, अगर उससे बहुत कुछ बदल पाए होते हम लोग, तो हर चुनाव के लिए किसानों के ऋण माफी का कि हम उनको कर्ज की माफी का वायदा करते हैं और फिर आएंगे तो मध्य प्रदेश और राजस्थान की तरह हम माफी भी नहीं करेंगे. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है, देखिए, ये पहली बार एक ऐसा बिल है जिसमें 2022 में जिस तरह से प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा था कि हम लोग किसानों की आमदनी दुगुनी करेंगे, तो उस डायरेक्शन में भी ये एक बड़ा कदम है. और बाजार को लेकर के, जो एग्री बिजनेस को लेकर के जो चीजें आई है, जो कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर्स और रिटेलर्स के साथ या बाजार के साथ जो किसानों के रिश्ते को लेकर के जो चीजें कही गई हैं, प्राइसिंग को लेकर के जो प्रावधान है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि विपक्ष को एक बात का भय है. उन्हें ऐसा लगता है किसानों के बीच उनकी साख पूरी तरह से खत्म होने जा रही है. और कांग्रेस को किसान कभी माफ इसलिए नहीं करेंगे कि आजादी के 73 वर्षों में 50 साल जिसने शासन किया और हिंदुस्तान की आबादी के 70% से ज्यादा, जो हमारी पूरी इकोनॉमी भी कहीं ना कहीं किसानों पर निर्भर है, उन किसानों को उनका वाजिब हक कभी नहीं मिला. तो आज इनको ऐसा लग रहा है कि इनकी जो जागीर है वो छिनती चली जाएगी. और ये कमोबेश जो भी इनके साथ पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज खड़े हैं, आने वाले समय में आप देखेंगे ये आंदोलन पूरी तरह से प्रायोजित है. अलग अलग जगहों पर पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज किसानों की आड़ में राजनीति कर रहे हैं. दरअसल इस बिल में टकराव के रास्ते के बजाय अगर संशोधन अमेंडमेंट के लिए कुछ इनके पास स्पेसिफिक होता तो मुझे लगता है वो ज्यादा बेहतर होता. लेकिन जिस तरीके से राज्यसभा में जो व्यवहार इन लोगों ने किया, कहीं ना कहीं ये पूरी तरह से बौखलाहट और हताशा है. और ऐसे लोग जिस तरह से वेल में हंगामा कर रहे थे, डिप्टी चेयरमैन के साथ जिस तरह की बदतमीजियां की गई, कुल मिलाकर के जो ये परिदृश्य है, इन्हें ऐसा लगता है कि अब इनकी दुकानदारी खत्म होने वाली है और इसीलिए इस तरह की बातें ये कर रहे हैं.
ठीक है. Quick response from Shama Mohamed before I go back to Mr. Avik Saha on some of the parts of the bill. Yes, Shama.
If he comes out here and talks all these lies, then I can tell him what is the truth. What happened in the Rajya Sabha was he did not allow for a division of vote and it went for a voice vote. Number one. Number two, why did Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad say what happened in the Rajya Sabha? What happened there? Why should the people of Bihar give a befitting reply to the Congress party and RJD in the coming election? What has that got to do? That means it was pre-planned by the Bharatiya Janata Party, what the deputy chairman should do, and he should do a voice vote and not that because they did not have a majority in the Rajya Sabha. So please don't come on television and keep lying. We have done enough in terms for farmers, in terms of
repeatedly बार-बार एक ही बात मत बोलिए समा जी।
आप चुप हो जाइए, मैं बात कर रही हूँ।
आप नहीं, बार-बार आप झूठ बोलने की बात नहीं कीजिए। मैं आपको भी कह रहा हूँ, बार-बार झूठ मत बोलने की बात कीजिए।
आपकी आवाज नीचे करो,
शब्द का प्रयोग मत कीजिए।
Okay, 1 minute please, 1 minute, 1 minute please, 1 minute please. Shama Mohamed and Rajiv Ranjan, Shama Mohamed ji and Rajiv Ranjan ji, if you talk over each other, your voice will automatically get cut on these Skype connections. I won't be able to do anything. एक एक करके बोलिए, नहीं तो किसी दोनों की आवाज कट जाएगी. Shama, finish your point, and then Rajiv Ranjan can come in. Yes.
बोलना ये शुरुआत उन्होंने किया, मेरा चांस है अभी, तो आप चुप हो जाइए. So they come on national television and lie. Now he's saying the Prime Minister has promised. What was the promise the Prime Minister gave in 2014? We will give, MSP will be cost plus 50% profit. What did Mukul Rohtagi say in 2015 in the Supreme Court? I'm sorry, we cannot give that. The government of India cannot. So that is why we don't trust this Prime Minister. Okay, so please.
Can I please come in?
No, you can't come in when I'm talking. Now, that is the reason. And number two, you know what has happened with GST? They promised them. Now what has happened? They've misappropriated more than 47,000 crores. That's what the CAG has said. So who can trust this government on their words and on these things? So we wanted in the bill that there will be MSP and the private player cannot buy less than what the MSP crop is. What is the cost of the crop and not less than the MSP.
Okay.
So that is very
okay. All right. Yes, Shivam Chabra, I know you want to come in, but let me just, okay. Shama Mohamed, let me just take that point. Shivam Chabra, just hold on. On the aspect of MSP, let's get a few things clear. Mr. Avik Saha, even now, barely a fraction of the farmers in our country get the due minimum support price, as is otherwise, promised, and it's made out to be a big thing, but they don't get it. Now, in the new system, does the situation worsen? Could it have been made better?
The new laws have nothing to do with farmers getting MSP. Let's be clear. So there's nothing better, nothing worse. I just want to come on quickly on a few points. Number one, let the spokesperson of the political parties not sit in a debate and say that people should not do politics. What are they doing here? They represent political parties. Number two, farmers' issues and farmers are a political issue. They are 70% of these countries' voters. So politics is an important, integral part of any democracy. Please let us not divert the debate on politics or non-politics. That's a non-issue. Number three, this is the fun part, and this explains everything. The Congress spokesperson spoke about the affidavit which the central government filed in February 2015 in the Supreme Court. The affidavit says that we cannot give C2 plus 50% MSP as recommended by Swaminathan Commission because it will distort the market. That's important. Today, these three laws say that it is this very market which will give C2 plus 50% MSP to the farmers. At least it's not in the law, but that's the BJP's promotion. So the market which would be distorted if MSP is given is the same market that will now give MSP and above to the farmer. Next point. These small traders who were running amok in the APMC markets and were not giving prices to the farmers are now to be replaced by very large, big players. Mind you, I have nothing against corporates, or I don't want to even use that word corporate. So just 1 minute. So the small people can arm twist and bring the farmer to this position, and the large people are going to be kind, sweet, and farmer friendly to give the farmers the price. Is this a joke? Does this even, is it logical? Does it not defy logic? So these laws need to go back, and first of all, BJP should consult its own cabinet members. Forget the farmers, forget the opposition, forget parliament. Was there a cabinet meeting? Was the food processing minister consulted about the agri bills? She resigned. She said this is anti-farmer.
Correct.
Was the Bharatiya Janata Party's own farmer organization consulted? Bharatiya Kisan Sangh consulted in this. They say no.
Fair enough. In fact, let me add to that, Mr. Avik Saha. Let me add to that. And let Shivam Chabra respond very quickly. I'm running out of time, but Shivam Chabra, the Shiromani Akali Dal is upset. Harsimrat Kaur says she raised it repeatedly while being within the government. It was not listened to. Nobody responded. The BJD says that while there are some good clauses in this bill, some need to be relooked at. We could have sent it to a select panel. Your own allies and parties who usually support you are also saying this could have been handled better. Bills could have been different. Why blame just the opposition?
Tanvi, let me just respond to what Shama ji said, and she was like too aggressive what she was saying shut up to what other panelists.
I didn't
but
tell you to
unfortunately,
shut up.
she should shut up herself. But anyways, I'm not getting into all this. For the past 6 years, over 7 lakh
Then
crore.
don't get into it and don't mention it.
No, but you should interject. Unfortunately, you did not. But anyways, I'm not getting into that as well. I'm saying produced was 7 lakh crores were procured by the government past 6 years, which is like almost double which has been done by the UPA government. That is what the BJP government has done, and I'm not taking anything out of it. As far as the MSP being a part of the bill is concerned, I am again saying this. It's an administrative, let us say, it's an administrative decision taken by the government. I am again saying when the Prime Minister of this country says that it is going to stay in the future too, then I don't think that there should be any debates about it. Unfortunately, Mr.
It doesn't matter, Mr. Shivam Chabra. Mr. Shivam Chabra, verbal assurances are not going to allay people's fears. I'm sorry, does your party even know today MSP is not paid? Today farmers don't get MSP. This assurance is not going to help people. Why are you making legislations? Just make promises and print your ads in newspapers about it. Why are you passing a law? That's not how things function in this country. You need to show it on ground. I'm sorry. I'm completely out of time. I will have to interrupt you. My apologies to Shivam Chabra. I don't have any more time left on this conversation. But this debate will continue. And we've repeatedly highlighted clauses that are good, clauses that are problematic, that should have been discussed instead of passing these bills in such a hurry. Today the farmer is saying something. I think the government needs to listen and not simply dismiss it as an opposition propaganda. Thank you for joining us on this conversation. It's been a heartbreaking day. A man loved by hundreds and thousands in our country. A man who sung about over 40,000 songs in 16 different languages. One of the biggest voices for the biggest of the actors through the 80s and the 90s. SP Balasubramaniam is no more. He passed away today at the age of 74. Been in a hospital for several weeks now. At a couple of times it looked like he had fought back and he would be all better. In fact, he released a video message saying that a few days ago. But unfortunately, today he passed away. And so we decided that just for a few minutes today, let's talk a little bit about the legend, the musical legend who's no more, but has left behind a big legacy. And that we will always cherish. And for joining me right now is Mr. Mohan Ram, actor and writer, who knew Mr. SP Balasubramaniam very well. And of course, Hariharan will be with us in just a bit. First up to Mr. Mohan Ram. Mr. Mohan Ram, my condolences. I believe you knew him very closely. I can't even begin to imagine what a tough day it would have been for you. But if you could share a few stories with us, a few memories that will always stay with you of Mr. SP Balasubramaniam.
Yes, it's tough. It's not just tough for me as a friend of Baluji. In fact, I called him Annaya in Telugu, which means elder brother. And he always called me Tamudu. We worked in a number of films together. We've acted together. In fact, there was a 3D film where just the two of us were the adult actors and the rest were all kids. So we had to spend time with each other. He was so big, so big. in terms of his achievements, in terms of God-given talent. The beauty was half the times we had to go and remind him, sir, you are Padma Bhushan, you are SPB. But he will not behave like that. He will talk as if we are the big people. Hey, Napa, what a great, sir, nothing great. You are, that humility we'll never find. I'll tell you, in the airport, he'll be sitting. 4 or 5 fans will come. Sir, these days it's the selfie thing. Those days it was autograph. So they'll come, sir. And then he'll sign. Then they'll say, sir, this song, Ilaya Nila, which is the original for the Nili Nili Ambar. I love it. Is it? Okay, sit down. He will sing one Charanam, one Pallavi. And then he will say, I don't remember the words. But if you know the words, you tell me, I'll sing for you. This is in an airport lobby to utter strangers. So if that was his connect with the people, you can imagine the friends, imagine the colleagues like Hariji. He had an individual connect with every single person with whom he came in contact with. So much like this COVID virus, which ultimately, sadly, took him away, having an individual connect and affecting individuals individually, differently. Each person grieves for Balu Anna in their own way. I'd like to just, before I pass the buck to Hari, who can take on and just keep us enthralled.
Sir, Mohanji, you're talking from your soul. Please let it flow. I'll be there. I'm there to talk. Please, go ahead.
And Baluna I'll give you a small incident of what happened exactly 10 years ago. In November 2010, it was my brother Bharat's 50th birthday. Bharat has, by God's grace, achieved everything. Hari knows the family well. I can't give him a gift, nothing. So I was thinking, what? Bharat had this extraordinary affection for this one song by Baluji called Ilaya Nila. Ilaya Nila Purigirathu. Now, the thing was, Bharat had gone to Singapore to celebrate his 50th birthday. Balu sir was singing a concert in Salem, which is a town about 300 plus kilometers from Madras. I was sitting in Madras. 2 time zones, 3 towns. I called Baluji in the afternoon and said, sir, this evening is Bharat's 50th birthday. Is it? Can you call him at 12 midnight? And no, 12 midnight would be impossible had he been in India. Poor man, he'll have to keep awake. But I knew I was putting him in no problem. Then he said, where is he? He said, Singapore. Oh, Singapore means 9:30. Hey, I'll be in the middle of my concert. Okay, no problem. 9:25, I'll finish the previous song. Go to the side, call him, and then go back to the next song. You do one thing. Don't give Bharat Bharat's number. Give me Bharat's wife's number. She'll be next to him. Call her, tell her to expect my call at 12 o'clock. And I will see. Believe it or not, at 9:28, he calls me and says, I finished the song. I'm calling her now. He calls at exactly 12 midnight in Singapore, 9:30 Indian time. He doesn't say anything. He just picks the phone. Bharat says yes.
Imagine.
So he just says, happy birthday. And then says, Ilaya Nila Purigirathu. Now, my brother was floored, believe it or not, after speaking to Baluji and all that. Till 4 a.m. their time, he kept calling me every 15 minutes. What a gift you gave me, man.
I'm sure, Mr. Mohan Ram, neither you nor your brother is ever going to, forget this story. I'm sorry because we're a little short on time and I wish we had more time today.
Seconds.
But if I may just bring in Mr. Hari Haran. Okay, 30 seconds, yes.
30 seconds to Hari. Hari, Bharat turns 60 in a month's time. I may call you to sing a song for him now because I don't have Balona to call him. Okay.
At your service. Yeah.
Hari, go ahead, please.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
can't listen.
you know,
We can't hear
just
you.
a story about the man S.P. Balasubramaniam. We know the legend. A story about the man that you knew.
Well, it was end of 70s or beginning of 80s, that time. End of 70s. I had gone to meet Lakshmikanji in Mehboob studio, and he had called me in the evening. So I went there, and there was a dubbing happening, voice dubbing, where Balu sir was singing because the booth was inside. So I just went, and so Lakshmiji said, "Please sit." And then I was listening to the song. Say half an hour, the take was okay, and then Balu sir came out, and then he met. He was talking to Lakshmiji, and I mean about the song, what he had just sung, and they had some conversation. Suddenly, he looked at me and he gave me a smile. I smiled back at him, and I've been his fans. Since Ayiram Nilaveva, that's his first song. I was surprised because I've never met him, but he gave me such a smile, saying as if he knew me. So I said, "Namaskaram. Aren't you the boy who sang in Youth Channel in Chennai? You sang 45 minutes ghazals." I said, "Yes." And then he started praising me. My God, I was a kid right out of college, and I didn't know how to take it. This is SPBG talking about me and saying that I loved your singing, and telling Lakshmikanji you have to use this boy. You have to give him a lot of songs. I just got floored. I said, am I listening to it actually, or what is it? It's a story, it's a dream. What is it? He's that type of a person. And then, with God's grace, I started singing, and then we went on world tours. Oh my God! Like he was people's man. He would go out of his way to just make people happy. That was him.
Yes,
and
I think it showed in the kind of positive energy, in the kind of vibe he had. You watch any of his concerts, it was so visible. For me as a child, I found out about him as the voice of Salman Khan when he did a series of movies and those songs for him. And of course, when I grew up, I gradually discovered more of his music, so much more of his music. 16, 18 different languages, and the kind of energy and passion that he went on. Let me tell big loss for all of us, all of the fans. My apologies to both of you. Maybe another day we will have another conversation, but I was really short on time. But thank you for speaking with us and sharing your precious moments and precious memories about S.P. Balasubramaniam here with us tonight on the Urban Debate. Thank you, Mr. Hariharan and Mr. Mohan Raj.